So let's talk some Illinois politics. I'm going to show you a video from the mayor of a suburb of Chicago, a suburb by the name of New Lennox.
This is a message for Governor JB Pritzker. Governor, I'm the mayor of a town of 30,000 people in Will County, Illinois, but I speak to mayors all across the state. We serve in a nonpartisan role. Our personal beliefs, we may be center right, we may be center left, but what really matters to us is how we can serve our constituents. We have several pieces of legislation that are pending in Springfield right now, which will be detrimental to our communities and to our taxpayers. Whether it's the build plan, which will change the character of every community.
Pause. We're going to go through these one by one. So he talked about the build plan. He doesn't like the build plan. The build plan is a package proposed by JB Pritzker to address the state's housing shortage and reduce costs. The plan seeks to lower housing costs by streamlining development regulations across Illinois. It proposes statewide standards that preempt local zoning to allow multi-unit housing by right in residential zoning areas. It mandates the legalization of granny flats on residential lots statewide. It includes $250 million dollars in capital funding for site preparation, middle housing, and first-time homebuyers assistance. And it lowers parking requirements, max of 1 space per single-family unit and 0.5 spaces per multifamily unit, and allows single staircases in multifamily buildings. Now, it's my understanding that the mayor of Romeoville is somewhat conservative, more of a Republican than a Democrat. I thought you guys were all in favor of cutting regulations. I thought you guys were all in favor of streamlining the process. Or is it that you don't like the fact that now you might have to put some multifamily units in some single family areas and you don't want those kinds of people moving in? And I say that because I live in Shanahan and I get this bullshit from people just like you all the time. Well, we don't want townhomes and we don't want apartment buildings and we don't want condos because it's going to bring in a bad element. Let's listen to the next one.
Character of every community, whether it's the mega projects bill, which will give breaks to billion-dollar corporations, passing the tax burden onto the local taxpayer.
So there he's saying he doesn't like the mega projects bill, which would give tax breaks to big corporations and thus pass that tax burden on to the citizens. The mega projects bill would create a statewide property tax assessment freeze program aimed at incentivizing massive commercial and private developments. Most notably, a new $2 billion stadium for the Chicago Bears. It allows developers investing at least $100 million and creating at least 100 jobs to negotiate long-term property tax structures, effectively freezing the property's taxable value at its pre-construction base year. In return, the developer would pay a negotiated payment in lieu of taxes directly to local taxing districts. The length of the assessment freezes varies by investment level, up to 25 years for $100 million, 30 years for $500 million, and 40 years for $1 billion. New Lennox does this already. New Lennox actively attracts and retains businesses by facilitating economic development incentives and tax abatements, primarily in partnership with the county and state rather than purely local direct tax exemptions. Now let's talk about the residents who pay taxes in New Lennox. This is from November of last year. No property tax rebate this year. New Lennox mayor explains why. The village of New Lennox has hit pause on a popular program that refunds a portion of property taxes to its residents. The property tax rebate program, which Balderman estimated has run for 15 years, will not be offered this year as the village looks to continue its redevelopment and economic growth efforts. The program typically refunded a designated percentage of the taxes paid specifically to the village. The village's portion generally represents less than 4% of the total property tax bill, with residents paying into other taxing bodies, including the Forest Preserve District of Will County, New Lennox District, yada, yada, yada. You see it all there. Last year's rebate was set to 50%, with the 2 years prior at 100%. In 2021, it was 85%. Dating back to 2020, it was 50%. The amount refunded has varied, but annually the amount it amounted to an estimated $2.4 million across 8,000 households. Balderman has said the village decided not to offer the rebate this year, to instead use the property taxes paid to the village to further pursue growth opportunities. We're investing in redevelopment and development in our community, Balderman said. Balderman said the move to pause the program has been mentioned multiple times in recent months, but still some have seemed caught off guard by the news, as applications for the rebate typically went out in early December and were due by New Year's Eve. With the opening of the massive $70 million Wintrust Crossroads Sports Complex in June comes a prime 10 acres of real estate dedicated for restaurant, retail, and or hotel use. Balderman previously said the complex is a big economic driver expected to pay for itself. The village dug into its reserves to purchase the land, paying $8.25 million in cash. With a focus on hosting regional athletic tournaments, the complex is projected to have a $12 million economic impact in year one, $20 million in year three. The entire project is estimated to bring in over $34 million annually, with 600,000 visitors annually once fully operational. So you're pissing and moaning about a program that would allow you to negotiate with companies to give them property tax abatement, and you say it's not fair to the residents, yet you already work with companies to give them property tax abatements, and now you're not giving the residents of your town the rebate because you're using that to help further development. Something that you're bitching about from the state of Illinois. Make it make sense, Mayor.
Local taxpayer. We've got the local government distributive fund, which should be at 10%, but is at 6.45%, costing communities millions of dollars annually that we use for providing services like police, fire, and public works.
So all of you conservative mayors piss and moan about how much the state of Illinois spends. The state of Illinois cuts back on how much it spends, and now you're pissed off that you're not getting more money from the state. Which is it? Do you want the state to spend more money, or do you want the state to spend less money? Here is yet another conservative mayor bitching and moaning that the state of Illinois isn't giving them more money. Levy the right taxes on your citizens, and you don't need to rely on state money.
Police, fire, and public works. We have the highest tax rate in the nation. We have the highest property tax rate in the nation. And come July 1st, with the new gas tax increase, we will have the highest second gas tax in the entire country, only behind California.
So there, the mayor of New Lennox gave you misinformation. Illinois does not have the highest tax rate. That would be Hawaii, followed by California, and then New York. As far as the property taxes go, that's set at the local level, not the state level. Once again, if you don't understand how the local property taxes are levied, maybe you shouldn't be the mayor of a town. And then he talks about the increase in gas tax coming on July 1st. June 1st or July 1st? I can't remember which one it goes into effect. That was part of a deal that raises the gas tax as inflation rises. So if inflation goes up, the tax gas goes up. Why was that bill created? That bill was created in order to fund our road repairs and was pushed greatly by many conservative organizations in the state, including RUSH, Residents United for Safer Highways, which is based out of Shanahan and the Joliet area, and who applauded the governor when he passed the increase in the tax bill, because we need to get our roads fixed. So do you want the roads fixed, or do you want cheap fucking gas? And are you bitching about the gas prices because of the war? Or do you only bitch at the gas taxes that are levied in Indiana? Sorry, Illinois. I was going to say go to Indiana, but I know he's not going to.
Governor, every day we see you attacking Donald Trump.
There it is.
Because we know that
there
you're eyeing a presidential run. And that's fine. Whatever your feelings are in Donald Trump, I don't really care. But what I do care about is my people. And that's what the mayors of this state care about as well. So we're asking you, put aside your presidential hopes right now and focus on the people of Illinois that desperately need you. Governor, I may not have voted for you, but I've always wanted you to be successful. We need you to abandon those hopes and get back and take care of the people of Illinois right now. Our state's in big trouble, and we need a governor who's working for us and not for a future political campaign.
That's what this boils down to. He doesn't like the fact that JB Pritzker goes after Donnie because he's another MAGA cultist. JB Pritzker has given Illinois its first balanced budgets in I don't know how long, and has increased our credit rating. He is looking out for the people of this state, unlike you, who is not looking out for the people of your own town.